Yeah, go. What? Yeah? Mic's on, right? Yeah.
Okay.
So get a little tighter in.
Dun it. I'm Burger.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Burger podcast. We have a great show for you tonight. A lot of stuff going on. We have Mona. I'm going to screw up your last name, so say it.
It's like shake and bake.
Shake. Oh, that's it?
That's it.
No, I'm an idiot. I wouldn't have screwed that up. I thought they were saying Shakira earlier.
Some people say shaka, shaky, shake it.
That's wonderful.
I say
Mona
shake it, don't break it.
Shake it up.
Okay, we're joined by our usual suspects. We got Mr. Ryan Town.
Hey guys.
Ms. Alex Powers.
What's up?
And Mr. Mark John Owen.
Yeah, hey.
He's doing his thing, yeah, right? You got us going. You got us.
John, you
live,
look all
I see
cozy.
sound.
You're
I'm
too
really
tight.
excited, John.
It's too tight.
I'm really excited. You guys are tight. Yeah.
Yeah, we're
Do
tight.
we have everyone in? Everyone's in there. Yeah, we got everyone.
We're in.
He did a good thing with the camera there. It, you know.
The camera.
Yeah, no. It's a good thing. So I'm looking up right now as we speak this resource police thing, who flips a kid. But
Jeez.
But before we get into that, one of the things I want to talk about, Quentin Tarantino. Did you hear about this?
No.
Okay, so this big thing, Quentin Tarantino comes out. He was at this anti-police rally. Well, not anti-police rally, anti-cops who murder people rally. And, you know, and so he made a statement, and he said that if you know people are murdering, or something along those lines, and you know there's an injustice, then you need to rise up and stand against it. That's all he said. And the police came out and said it was anti-police. He was inciting people to attack police officers.
And to riot and stuff like that.
And this was really the whole statement. There's not. I was waiting for there to be more, and they go, it was a short statement.
Yeah.
Okay, where in there did he tell him to do anything? And it's like, what's the underlying agenda or something that is going on here where that's what they're mad about? I mean, they're boycotting his movies
Well,
for the wrong reason.
because he's a Hollywood powerhouse, and if he can.
They just want to, take anyone that speaks the truth and turn them into a villain and make them seem like they're criminals.
Well, they'll take
themselves.
anyone especially from Hollywood. They'll take down those people
Well,
more
yeah,
than
because
anybody else.
millions and millions, hundreds of millions of people watch movies.
Yeah, yeah.
you know.
Tarantino also has a foot fetish, so
Someone
he
said
has
that-
a very
someone said that
crazy
to
foot
me.
fetish.
Someone said that to me because like, my wife's 6 feet tall.
Yeah.
She has like a 10 and a half, 11 foot, but she has like perfect feet. And I think it's badass. Now here's the thing. I don't have a foot fetish. Hey, you know what I don't like? Fucking toes that don't agree.
Yeah.
You know, feet making different decisions.
Or toe cheese. No, who likes that?
Toe cheese.
And it's not a foot fetish to go, wow,
Who's
she
into
has,
that?
she has pretty feet.
Yeah.
In that sense that they're all normal and everything, nothing kind of makes you go, what the fuck?
Yeah.
You know, that's not a fetish.
What about the heel? Does she have big heels?
Perfectly thin. Yeah, no, she's really, like, it's ridiculous for someone that tall. Because we know somebody who's really tall has the feet of a horse.
Oh gosh, yeah.
You better be careful. Tarantino's going to show up to your house.
They took off their shoes to step on the couch to put something up there. And I'm thinking, I would rather have the shit that's on the bottom of your shoe than your sweaty ass hoof where I'm going to sit. You know? And so, but that's the thing is, so it's not a fetish like that, but where Tarantino has like this weird thing with feet where it's fetish like.
Yeah, he followed.
Well, all of his movies.
I have a friend of mine. His friend of hers in New York. She was in New York. She met Tarantino at a meeting, and it was like summertime. She had open toe shoes, and Tarantino literally followed her around until she was like, until she
surprised.
like agreed to go out dinner with him, and like she would let her suck his toe. Let
Really?
him- Yeah.
He's that
It's
much.
that intense
He
for him.
sucks on toes.
Yeah, it's intense
But
with
see,
him.
and that's the thing is like for me, it's like I kind of think it's hot that my wife's feet are like pretty.
Yeah.
You know, I've known girls like that and things like that, but that's the thing. But it's not fetishy. I think that's always weird when you go too far. When people take things way too far. Like I think it's kind of hot getting rough with a woman. I don't think it's hot putting a ball gag in her mouth and making it
Like
seem
choking or shit.
yeah, making it seem like
Yeah.
Yeah, I have a question. Speaking of things too far, do you think cops have like a murder fetish?
Well, so now here's the thing. Thank you for bringing this
I mean,
up.
they carry. They've like they've got into a profession that allows them to carry around a loaded weapon.
I feel like people who become cops or get into law enforcement are generally people who were
Got all
oppressed,
C's in high school.
who got the shit kicked out of them in school, who didn't have
No,
much
not
low-
even.
who didn't have like
They were the
self-esteem
dumb
growing
jocks
up.
that beat the shit out of other kids.
Possibly, but I feel like these people have like
Can I
a
bum a
need for
cigarette?
power. These people have a need for power. Like you have to be a very special kind of a person to be attracted to a job like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Completely right in that some of them are them, some are you're talking about, and you know what? Where it used to be a lot of them were. Now occasionally you find the police officer who really feels like they're gonna make the world better, and that guy or girl
Right.
makes the world feel like they're like, hey, I can change, I can matter.
Sure.
And protect
And
people
there are
and
good.
be of
Listen, there are
service.
good cops there. It's not like they're not. They're not like all assholes.
We become a majority of bad.
Sure.
Now,
That's where it's like
Well, the bad gets the most media, right?
I'm going to be really
Turn the
careful
switch
about
on.
anything I say in regards to the military and veterans because I think the way that we
Why do I do that?
treat veterans and don't take care of them and their families is shameful.
100%.
Shame on us as a country.
100%.
But I will say that the military, unfortunately, not as much so, but especially along with law enforcement, attracts a group of people that basically were too dumb to get into college.
Well,
Yeah.
Well, because I've known some kids in high school that became cops, and I think personally, it goes into the military school is that they're brainwashed.
Yeah.
A lot of them are brainwashed, and they just feel like that they have to,
Call of Duty.
yeah, just
Call of
take
Duty,
over.
I
the
mean,
game
it's- I-
teaches
I-
you to be a soldier
I
or
mean,
warrior.
look, it's always interesting when you look at senators, right? They don't really send their own children to serve in the military. They
There was a
always
great
go
song
after
about that,
They
yeah.
always go after the poor
Yeah.
kids. They always go after the poor families,
Vietnam.
regardless of
Yeah,
color. by
Vietnam,
the way,
they went.
regardless of color.
Yes.
They go after the poor families because they know that the children need to go to school. They don't have the money to put their kids through college.
Oh, yeah, that
and
you
those
just-
are the kids that they go after.
Yeah.
Well, and again, like I say, what the problem is, and like you said, is we don't realize that this is happening in a rainbow of colors. If you're poor, the police are killing you at a high rate. Now, the fact is that young black men are being killed at a higher rate than anyone else. And during the presidential election, Barry Sanders was the only one who answered correctly, I believe, when they said, "Do Black Lives Matter?" And Hillary and a few other people said all lives matter. And that was not the question. The question was, do Black Lives Matter? And the only answer is, yes, Black Lives Matter. It doesn't mean that others don't. It simply is asking, do they matter? And his answer was, yes, Black Lives Matter.
course
And
they
they do matter.
Right.
That's the only answer to the question. Doesn't need to be challenged with, well, all lives matter. We know that.
Sure.
Life is precious.
Sure.
The problem is at a higher rate, they're less precious.
It's so precious that if the cigarette is bothering anyone, please feel free to say so.
No, and
No,
on
I'm-
the show, that's the one rule we have, and Ryan should tell everyone,
Sorry.
is
I don't smoke. I don't smoke
we
at
all
all.
smoke.
And I'm around every day,
We're literally curing each other's cancer nonstop.
Well,
to the,
is there any
second hand.
I
vegetarians
don't
here?
smoke or drink.
You don't
Really?
drink at
About
all?
me.
I thought you drank. No.
You're like
I don't
Adam
drink
Ant.
either.
Yeah. Don't drink, don't
Don't
smoke.
smoke.
What do you do? Don't drink,
I mean,
don't smoke. Old song.
is there any vegetarians here?
No.
No.
I'm
okay.
trying to be ethically vegan.
Because
I'm trying to
Yeah.
move towards vegetarianism or veganism.
Because
but
the other day ago they announced the processed meats are just as cancerous as
Cancerous.
cigarettes.
No, no,
Yes, I
no.
saw
What's
that.
better though? You're
I saw
vegan.
that.
This is the beauty, and that most vegan food has meat in it.
And human DNA.
Oh well, yeah. Oh well, thank you.
I don't
You know
have-
what? A story we really want to
Hot
hit on
dogs.
is that processed meat, hamburgers, pre-made hamburgers, things like that. A lot of the fast food, all that stuff, shows a 2% human DNA. Now, what that means is it's not from cuts. These aren't fingers being lost. This is human DNA being added. It's not my arm meat, but what they're doing is they're taking a part of I believe it's the liver, and it's a flavoring where they could take, like with high fructose corn syrup, where it causes cancer. It's a horrible thing for us. We can't digest it. But here's the beauty is you could take this much and make a vat of sweetener. and you
Sure.
could sweeten a huge thing where it would take a ton of sugar. And so, hey, fuck our health and our lives and our kids. Let's be economical. And so they do that. Well, with the meat, they're adding this flavoring from either aborted fetuses, things like that, but from a liver, part of our liver.
Aborted fetuses.
Oh, yeah, it's a huge business. See, people think like, oh, Planned Parenthood is just selling to research. And I have no problem with Planned Parenthood, even though the entire purpose of it was to lessen the amount of black and Latin people being reproduced.
Well,
Yeah, the lady who created it, her whole goal was basically less brown people.
You know what
Wow.
really gets me about them paying
They
for?
clearly, she didn't clearly know about India, now did she?
Right? Well, no. Well, look, someone's got to answer a phone. We're cool with that. You know, I mean,
She can stop here all they want.
yeah.
There's
You
a
guys
billion
are-
of
yeah.
us over,
Another
like
thing.
just fucking our brains out.
Yeah.
So
That's
that's
another thing that should be illegal. Like, if I get
Indians?
one more,
No.
if I get one more phone
Indians.
call,
That's another thing that should be
if
Indians.
I get one more phone call that pops on my phone saying it's from North Carolina, but it's an Indian person, we gotta stop making it legal for them to route phone calls from India to like routing places in the United States. It's deceiving, it's deceptive, and I feel like we have a constitutional right to like know who's calling us or where they're calling
Well,
us.
yeah. I mean, think about how much money corporations save every year because they outsource these jobs, right? And
Yep.
they have lobbyists that go and give all this money to senators so they can go and pass these bills that they we can take these jobs overseas while Americans don't get to have those jobs.
All
I
under-
just fuck
all-
with 'em.
Well, it's all under the guise of what you said is racist and what you're saying is wrong, and that's it. And so, okay, and we continue.
Right.
But if we really look at, there was nothing racial about what she said. It was an economic thing.
100%.
And
Look,
nothing wrong. And nothing wrong about what you said. It was
Yeah.
just like, yeah, because the corporations are taking advantage of
Right.
these people, and so the Indians who are working at such low wages,
Right. And it's
barely
not just India,
surving.
it's Philippines too.
Oh
by the
yeah,
way.
all over the world, all over the world. You're
Huge.
getting Russians,
nothing to
you're getting
say?
all kinds of people. But what it is, they're basically working them at slave wages. Now they're suffering.
That's right.
The people over here who are low income people are suffering because those jobs aren't here.
That's right.
But you're both right because the corporations are making tons of money,
That's right.
and you're a racist and you're an anti-American and da da da.
Sure.
But neither of you are the problem. None of us are the problem. But the corporations float on.
Yeah, that's always has
and
been.
we don't stop them. We don't stop these corporations from doing these things. We don't open up trade between people in India and people in America.
Right.
We allow corporations to trade and them to bring work over there and them to take product over here and this and that,
Yeah.
but we don't allow people to do it. So none of us get to make any money. We all get
I
fucked.
bet that there are groups, they're like citizen groups that actually go and fight in Capitol Hill for human rights.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah, they're there.
For causes, but I mean, come on, you're fighting corporations and
Yeah.
lobbyists.
There's a lot of
man. They're
money.
And
pouring
funny enough, a lot of those
billions of
groups,
dollars.
and a lot of those groups are being run by people with money who got their
100%.
money through corporations, whether it be second generation or whatever. And so then even that, a lot of these groups are bullshit money umbrellas
Yep.
that people are just
I mean,
funneling.
look at. Remember Occupy Wall Street?
Yeah.
Remember that?
Such a
That we're like,
Remember that,
we're just gonna
guys?
wait this out.
Yeah.
We're like,
Oh.
we're just gonna wait. How long is it gonna be before you guys get tired? We're
Well-
just gonna
well,
wait
the
this out.
99%.
We have all the money in the
We're
world.
hungry, really. I mean, those people were starving.
Well, the
didn't
99%
give a
was
shit.
the 99% was LA's Woodstock.
Dude, no.
no.
My ex-girlfriend had an apartment right by on wall, like right there, and walked out of her apartment building one day, and one of these occupiers, she was like, "Oh, I'll go like stand with them and like talk to them, whatever." She's
Yeah.
a writer. She was like researching whatever, and they're like, "Honestly, we're hungry. We're really fucking hungry." And she was like, "Well, I'll tell you what. How about tomorrow morning? I'll make you." She's very philanthropic, heart. She was like, "Why don't you guys come up to my apartment building and like I'll feed you?" She said like 60 people showed up for
Whoa.
breakfast, and she wound up
Well,
ordering.
yeah, but that's how the Occupy thing worked. It's like classic hippie communism.
Yes.
Where it's like you leave one little sugar cube out, and there's a cockroach one day, and then they leave a sugar cube out again, and there's 60 cockroaches the next day.
Wild
And everyone's
comparison.
bitching
Your friends
while
became
they got.
cockroaches.
Well, I'm just saying. No. I mean, I do know.
No, I know
some-
what you're saying. Yeah,
I
it's
had
the
some run-ins
multiplication
with
of
like
it.
Occupy LA, and what
Well,
I
no.
did.
Well, no, you
I
don't.
mean,
Well, it was the
Well,
99
actually,
percenters.
gold
You know.
diggers have already occupied LA.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's.
Well, I mean, that was like I
it's been
said.
they camped
occupied.
out in
Kids
front
living
of
off a
City
trust
Hall for
Yeah,
like a year.
they did the Woodstock thing,
know?
and it was a bunch of yuppies and a
Yeah.
bunch of homeless people hanging out in the park.
Yeah.
And the yuppies were there from like 9 to 5-ish, having fun. And then the homeless would sleep there because they got to, because it was an
Well, and then
occupation.
even among the
And no,
homeless,
yeah.
even among the homeless, most of the homeless were like trust fundy kids on.
Oh,
Their
yeah,
credit-
yeah.
On their
But you
parents'
had-
Yeah,
credit
like in
card
Venice Beach.
from
Yeah.
wherever.
Oh, God,
like,
don't even
yeah, like
stop.
I mean,
Jesus.
Don't- when
nothing
people tell me like
original
this,
for LA.
when people tell me I was staying in Venice, fuck yourself.
yeah,
You're
Fuck
sleeping
yourself.
on
Go
the
home.
beach.
Yeah, go
People
home to
pay
Iowa.
thousands of dollars to go and sleep.
It's
on
Yeah,
nice.
go home
It's
to
the best way to
Iowa
be
to your
homeless.
dad's fucking tree factory and shut the fuck up. And I hate that shit because
Can
if
we
you-
go back to talking shit about cops,
Yeah.
but also
Fuck the
explaining
police,
that,
fuck
like,
the police.
yes,
Gotta
there's
factor in.
a gross, disgusting percentage of uneducated, poor people that become cops that are on power trips, and then there's a lot of really awesome dudes and men
women.
and women and stuff.
There are
that just
there
wanna
are
help
good
people.
cops, and then
Totally.
then there's bad cops. And that's
Well,
the,
but
that's
it
the whole
used to
thing.
be
The
we
good
would
cop,
say,
bad cop.
well, it used to be we would say, there's some bad cops. Now we say there's some good cops. Just like teachers used to be, there's some bad teachers. Now it's there's some good teachers.
Yeah.
And the change is obvious, and it's just like I said before: hide it, lock it, keep it, instead of see it, say something.
So what are the cops
Yeah.
doing now in retaliation to Quentin Tarantino's
They're taking
words?
steroids and really pumping up. They're gonna Billy Club some ass.
They're gonna-
They're gonna beat
The
him
Rock.
with feet. They're gonna. You know what? If they kicked him to death, he'd orgasm during it.
Yeah, no, but you know what? They're gonna get him on some kind of like foot prostitution.
Right? Yeah,
thing.
something weird.
You mean
Gifts,
their balls are
watch
gonna get
me on
even
this.
smaller?
They're
Right?
gonna get him
Yeah.
like on some paying 10
Oh,
women.
it's insane
to-
that they even went after him. It's a shame. And you know what? He's a nut job wacko, but he's a great
Do you,
writer.
okay, remember
Yeah.
this. Sinead O'Connor, she was on SNL.
Tore up the
and when
picture
she
of the
tore up
Pope,
the picture of the
Pope John
Pope,
Paul II.
if you guys remember that at all, people actually boycotted her.
Oh, yeah.
People in America boycotted
Yeah.
her music, and her career plummeted after
But
that.
they had a reason. She
Did they have a
shit on
reason?
Their,
That was-
no,
that
I don't
was-
agree with them. But she shit on their
But dude, that's a
religion.
religious thing. Like
Yeah.
people get
That's-
bent
No,
out
but
of
that's a
shape
freedom of
about
speech.
religious
This was
stuff.
at a time when it was we were realizing that the Vatican, the Catholic Church
horrible.
as an
Yeah,
organization,
it's Satan.
was systematically protecting, harboring,
Yeah.
abetting child molesters.
Right.
And that's why
Yeah.
she did that.
She said
that
fight
was
the
her
real
political
enemy.
Her
motivation,
political
Terry.
Right,
point.
but you have to understand. But people who are like the hardcore Catholics don't see it that way.
They don't give a fuck
They
about
don't
her
give a fuck.
point.
They're
But-
like,
yeah.
look, you insulted our leader.
We're
End
not
of
buying your
story.
shit. We're
Right.
boycotting.
But
End of story.
that I was to say, but that's the beauty of it. It's a freedom of speech that she did. She can say, she can do that.
Yeah.
She's allowed to do that.
Sure.
There's repercussions.
And
But
if
it's
you
just
want to
gonna kill a
boycott it, you
career.
can boycott it. Tarantino said, whatever he said, and cops.
But if
they
he
wanna
shot
boycott.
jizz, if he shot jizz on the
you know
on a
what? I
picture
don't-
of
I
a dead
honestly don't.
officer, then I get it.
Yeah.
You know, if he shot pictures of police officers, I get it. If he said kill cops, I get it. The dude said if people are murdering people, rise up and stand against it.
Right.
No, we don't want to do that in America.
Right.
Isn't that the whole thing we're based on? Is doing that. We're supposed to do that.
I wish we had a fact checker on this show.
Yeah,
Because
we
there's
got
a
to hire
lot of
one.
because last year when all the racist, fucking bullshit cop assholery was going on, and they were killing all these innocent people. Some innocent, some definitely not committing crimes, but not fatal crimes, not violent crimes, whatever. We heard a lot of things, like, oh, it's in the Constitution this, it's in the Bill of Rights this, or an amendment this, and I really wish we had a fact checker now, because one of the things I heard, an old school law written back in the day, like colonial times, was that, like, if you see a law enforcement officer, a man of the law, wrongfully harassing or posing an immediate harm to the life of an American citizen, you had the legal right to attack that officer
Yes, you still
and
do.
even potentially
You
kill
still
them
do.
if
No,
they
you still
were wrongfully going to kill someone else.
Yes, you have the right to always protect yourself against harm and or intercede.
Right, but the cops don't
for
want them
somebody
to
else.
gun.
Intercede.
Well, but so that's what supersedes the right. is that motherfucker got a gun.
Right.
So, right or not, you're getting shot.
Right.
And
So you
then-
turn around,
and then
shoot
they'll
you,
go to
and
jail.
then he'll say, my life was being threatened, so I had
Yeah.
to take the person out.
And so
Well,
they'll
you were
get in
threatening
trouble.
somebody else's life.
They'll get
But
in
I
trouble.
mean, and also,
But you're dead.
Some like not all these cops like they're dumb like on paper, but they're not dumb enough to like just whip their gun out and point it at someone. But like when a cop is doing things like to that poor woman in
Yeah.
Texas where they slammed her head
Yes.
against the ground so hard that she wound up dying from a cerebral hemorrhage 2 days later, which I don't even know what the investigation is pending on.
Oh, they'll
that.
let it go. It'll blow
But
over.
like allegedly that's like she was suffering of symptoms of cerebral hemorrhage as a direct result of the cops manhandling her. So again, it's like if you see a cop strangling someone to death, depriving them of air, like in the Eric Garner situation, you have every right to attack that cop because he's going to kill somebody.
Yeah, should protect
I
your
was
life.
going to ask,
You're
when
allowed
did
to protect
cops
life.
start having guns? If you remember cops, in the, I'm
Going
pretty
back to the
sure
30s and 40s.
40s when they had
Yeah.
the guns. When so it was after
But sheriffs always did.
Oh, because they were the sheriff. That's a lot different. The sheriff to the cop. Not
Oh,
anymore.
let's talk
Not
about
anymore.
The L.A. sheriff.
Oh, fuck the LA
County
sheriffs.
Department.
But
No, you want to talk about? Sorry to interrupt because I
No,
definitely
you're
want to
fine.
hear where you're going. But like that's another thing people don't realize the difference between the police department and the sheriff's department, at least here in LA.
5 milligrams of steroids.
Sheriff's department, because
very
the way
small
it's
balls.
structured,
Tiny.
LA sheriffs have to start off in the prison system. So
Yeah.
they start off
Yeah.
as correctional officers.
yeah.
Then they have to go from the correctional facility to the court. And then they go to the street. So by the time these guys in the LA Sheriff's Department even get to the street, everyone's a fucking criminal to them.
yeah.
And a lot of times by that point they've already been engaged or
They're so
involved in some
jaded.
sort of illicit
They're-
activity
they're the
within the
worst.
correctional
Oh,
facility.
yeah, they're so jaded.
Well, and then they really know how to lie the best on their
They're
reports.
organized.
yeah. And
So
I watch
they,
porn,
you know.
so I know what goes on in those jails.
Yeah.
Because I've seen those
Sure.
jails tell
I watch a lot
gangbangs.
of
Right?
I
You know
watch
what I'm
some
talking
gay
about?
porn. Some of
Yeah.
that shit takes place in a jail. So
Yeah.
I watch gay porn. Yeah.
And well, it's funny. A lot of cops have been caught. A lot of male cops have been caught fucking around with male inmates, and it's way underreported, way underpublicized. But what goes on? What goes on just throughout this whole country with everything is ridiculous. The fact that teachers are background checked, but there's reports on them and they still get hired. Police officers were gang members and they're still becoming cops. I have 3 friends that were from Latin Times Pacoima that are all LAPD. One of them's got Latin Times Pacoima on his fucking neck behind his ear.
One of the
He's
biggest
LAPD.
druggies I knew in high school wanted to become working for the DEA.
Yeah. And but that's the thing. But it's easily found out that they are gang involved. That's how the Rampart Division back in the 80s, I think it was, all gang involved people, all working with the gangs they were from, all dealing drugs and doing all this
Yeah,
stuff
it's
within the LAPD.
it's always a corrupt system.
It's a
And
syndicate now.
It's in there. It's in the blood.
Yeah.
And they don't
And look at
care.
Ethan Hawke. Who the fuck wants to go through that to be the good guy?
Ethan Hawke.
Yeah.
Training day.
Training Day taught every cop, just shut up, man. That's a lot to go through.
But
not
if you
worth
look at what's his name, I forget his name now, and we all knew him because the guy that worked for the LAPD that started killing off
Love him, Donner.
Yeah. And they
Dorner.
really.
Dorner.
I'm serious. The LAPD
Yeah, love that
took
guy.
him down,
Yeah,
and
they
he
did.
was like,
Wait,
"You're."
Dorner, was he the?
He was the cop.
reporter? Oh, the cop.
He was
He's
the
the
cop.
he's a former cop.
And this is the thing. In no way do I like the fact that he killed the one dude's daughter.
Yeah.
At the same time, the blood's on your hands because what you did created that scenario. And sometimes in life, your actions affect those around you.
Yeah.
And you have to be wary in life how you act because of those around you. If you're doing that kind of evil, it's going to come back to your area, not just to you.
I mean, my
Evildoers.
question is when Dorner,
like that.
Dorner was a black guy, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
my question is when Dorner went missing, why didn't they send the Kardashians to look for him? I mean, they're
They'd
very
have
good at
found him
looking
in
for
a
black guys.
minute. They would have. He was famous.
Dorner,
he
the
was
guy
famous
that
and
died
black.
last
Yeah.
year. Okay,
Yeah.
yeah.
No.
2 years ago, 3 years
He
ago.
was famous and black. They would have found him in 4 minutes.
Chloe would have found him.
Well, you know the Kardashians have a church.
Yes,
it's a
they do. And
nonprofit.
yes, that's
and they
right.
meet once a month.
That's
and it's
right.
a weird congregation of
Yeah.
bullshit.
True.
How we get to this?
They,
Oh, no.
they come up
And
with
they
new
funnel
techniques of
a
giving blowjobs.
Ton
Oh,
of money
Jesus.
through this. Now I will say this, and I don't believe my wife, so this is so second, third hand. But there's all this gossip shit about it, and she's into that, and she keeps telling me how.
Well, Kim donates to Kris Jenner, right? She's
They were telling me
head pastor of
how
the gym,
a lot of
the
people they're
church, rather.
prostitutes, like
Yeah.
they go to Dubai
Yeah.
to prostitute.
Who does?
That these big celebrities go to Dubai, and they're not going in like
Yeah, they call them
hanging
rate
out.
cards, actually.
The what?
Rate cards. So it's a very big culture. So I was doing shows in Dubai last year, and it's called the rate card. So what it is like, so Bollywood. You guys know about Bollywood, right? So Bollywood is
Love
they
Bollywood.
make the oh, you should look at
Right,
it.
I
Okay,
know.
you should. They make most movies in the world, right? And then of course there's Hollywood. So in Bollywood there's a culture, and then they talk about this, and I'm sure it's I don't know. I guess it's like that in Hollywood too, where all these rich prince and princes who have all this money, they have these celebrities that they like, and then they ask them, "What's your going rate if you want to spend the night with me?"
Yeah.
And they said my going rate is 100,000 or 150,000.
Okay, so my
And you
wife's
get to
not
do
wrong
whatever
then.
you want.
No, I know a girl I know this woman who she did
Oh no,
that.
I know about hookers
But-
going to Dubai, so to speak. Not even
Yeah.
just hookers. Women who know you could be a hooker in Dubai and make a ton of money.
Yeah.
I know
Ton of
about
money.
that.
A shit ton.
She's talking about like the Kardashians,
celebrities,
Jennifer
yeah.
Aniston, George Clooney,
Well-
like these motherfuckers, and
I
that a
don't
lot
think
of the
Clooney
things they
needs
do.
the money. I
But
don't think
they-
Jennifer Aniston needs the money either.
That's my
Celebrities
argument.
do-
That's
they-
my argument.
But they do. Celebrities do.
That's
private
her
appearances.
argument. Well, but this is the thing.
They do. Like if you're a musician, like Gwen Stefani got paid like $250,000 to do a private party for someone.
Private party, not
And
to
it-
not
that's
to go
singing.
suck a
Well,
prince's
but
dick.
now- No, but here's
that's
the thing,
kind of
though.
a private.
But
Can I
now-
say that? Can I get to
yeah,
suck a
you
dick?
could. Yeah, you could
Suck a
actually.
dick.
You
I wanted
could
to
suck
say it
a
again.
prince's
Suck a
dick
dick.
on this show. It wouldn't even be a
Just
problem.
wanna- I don't
yeah,
wanna
yeah.
suck a prince's
But if
dick.
you did, is all
Oh,
I'm
we
saying.
should
is
do
that
that.
that
We
kind of
should-
freedom.
we should
a
get a
prince
prince.
could suck your dick.
We should
on
get
this
a
show.
prince on the
Yeah,
show
just to
and
suck
someone
your
to
dick.
suck it.
Yeah.
We can maybe we can
Not
make that
Prince the
happen.
No,
singer.
but so the thing is, what her
He
point
would.
is like you take a
He
George
would.
Clooney, right?
Mm-hmm.
They've got he's got like a private plane. He's got these houses everywhere. He's got
does.
all this stuff, and he's making a bunch of money doing shows and movies. But that dries up. He's still living at that same expense level. Can he maintain it at that level if he's not making the movies and things like that for a while? So her point is that they're storing money
Yeah.
that's untraceable, and all the
In
way down
Dubai?
to
Untaxable.
all the way down to saying the Mary-Kate Ashley purses
Yeah.
are ways that they pay a ton of money for
Yeah,
this
a
purse.
lot of American entrepreneurs go out to Abu Dhabi.
Well,
to
and this is the
the
thing. They're saying they
Emirates,
buy the stuff,
to Bahamas,
and it's a funneling for the
Yeah.
prostitution. That the stuff costs nothing.
So that's why all these celebrities have these like crazy like handbag and
and they're
cologne
worth
lines
nothing
and
except that you buy that and you
through
get the
legal
prostitute.
channels.
Yeah.
Right.
And so you're paying for it. It's all bought normal. No money is going to a prostitute. And again,
And I guess
please
we
let me
know,
say
I
no
guess,
credibility to this.
I guess
the
we
only
know
credibility
who's
is
a
you
prude
right now
in
to that
Hollywood.
lower
I
part.
listen, and my thing is like, that's kind of they actually made a movie in Bollywood last year or 2 years ago. It's called Heroine, not like the one
Yeah.
you consume, but like a
hero.
like
A
a
female
hero,
hero.
female hero. And they talk about that in that movie of the rate card. And it's so funny. We were just talking about that.
It's
2
it's
days
a
ago.
rate card, right?
Rate.
How much they charge?
Not a rape
okay, not a
card,
rate
a
card.
rate
I was like,
card.
Yeah, no. That would be the weirdest
Well, I'm
thing if there was a
gonna-
rape card.
It would
She's
be.
like, oh my God. You're like, she's like, oh, God damn it. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Rape
Rate
card.
card.
Wait,
Exactly.
no, you can't say no.
Yeah.
I have a car.
I have a car.
Car. I got a rape card.
right? Black guy pulls it out. She's like, wrong. That's a race card. That's a race card. You can't rape me with that.
But no, we
Can't rate
Different
you with a
card.
race
I'm sorry.
Yeah, hold
Hold
on.
on. Hold
this
on.
conversation has enlightened me as to who is prude in Hollywood. Does anyone like wonder why Nick Cage ever makes all those horrible movies? He makes like fucking 4 or
Yeah.
5 horrible movies a year. And this is a guy who has like a ton of overhead and has
Yeah.
a problem
Yeah.
buying houses. He's
Yeah.
got like I think 11 or 13 properties he owns as it is right now, like all at the same
He
time.
sold
and then,
off a few too.
And then he can't.
Dude, I
and
think
he can't
he drinks
afford it.
cat
That's why
blood.
he makes those horrible movies because clearly he's not willing to go to Dubai.
When you
and
know
let
his
some
family is,
prince
right?
Fucking fuck him.
You know his family is.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Coppolas.
Yeah. So he was already he was an in. I thought he was the coolest actor because he wasn't related.
I think
and
he's a vampire.
yeah, because of that old picture. You hadn't
He
seen
just
that?
looks
There's
like
an
a
old picture of
vampire. Yeah, he does.
someone who looked just like him.
well,
back in the day,
he
but-
eyes.
what you
Yeah.
call it? No, like
Yeah.
the Yeah, I don't know how to explain his career. I don't think he has an agent anymore either. I think he got rid of his agent.
Did he?
Yeah, his wife is really young.
Yeah, it probably sucked his blood.
Yeah,
Probably.
see, that's the thing, man.
He has.
I don't understand these guys getting young wives when they're really old because now this is the thing. Yes, my wife's a lot younger than me. Okay, but here's the thing.
How much a lot younger, bro?
My wife's 18 years younger than me.
Whoa.
And my wife's beautiful
Nice.
and she's a great, amazing
Man, your game's
person.
tight.
She's an
Look at
amazing
you.
person. Well, this is the thing. Me and my wife got together. I had an old car, 2 kids, already divorced for a few years. I had my kids full time, all this shit going on. And we got together. She had no kids. She was perfectly fine, everything else, living on her own. We got together, we got married. We didn't plan on having kids. A month later, we had kids. But this is the thing is, my wife is with me. She could be with one of these dudes. She's with me because we dig each other. I got nothing to offer her other than that. And okay, so I know there's a huge age difference. I'm not thrilled. I didn't know at first. I thought she was a lot older because how tall she is, and so whatever. But
Because people think I'm 85.
I'm with
like
me.
5'8".
with me, people think I'm
The year
Let me
85?
see, my wife's 6 foot.
Oh, she.
So
wow.
yeah,
That's
and
amazing.
so I
Yeah,
just
remember
thought
we had the conversation.
Yeah.
Big feet.
Yeah.
They look great.
perfect feet. Yeah, it was the weirdest.
Just
yeah,
giant.
With
and
the
so
great
yeah.
arc.
and so she like that whole thing, but it's like you see these old actors marrying these young women that obviously could only want to be with them because they're famous actors.
Like Michael Douglas.
Right,
See,
'cause
like
they're
Michael
paying
Douglas, Michael Douglas, with the young girl.
Catherine Zeta-Jones.
bills.
It's
She's
sad.
bipolar.
But it's the thing is,
She's bipolar.
She doesn't know what
it was
she
like him
wants.
having a threesome every time. It was,
Yeah.
but no, it was just. It's like that to me. That's such a bad idea. If me and my wife got divorced and I was famous, I would only date someone else who had money and was my age.
See,
Wow.
I think you're missing out because I like to defend this bad relationship because I think that those girls are in need of a daddy, and they with no money. The whole thing is because I've always pulled off the broke older, the broke dysfunctional daddy figure for them, versus like. But
Depends
they
on what
come
kind of
from,
broken. Depends on what kind of broken woman you're
Well,
dealing
it's like
with.
the
my
ones.
wife's,
I always
my
like
wife
the
was
ones
never
from a
into
good
the daddy type
family,
thing. She didn't want me
white
to tell her what
girls,
to
good
do or anything.
family. So they come to California and they need, to really scare their parents. So but they want to like that person. You have a genuine connection with them. Just because it's a freaky.
Yeah, I mean, money is a genuine
social
connection.
situation doesn't mean
No,
it's not.
it's such not
good
I mean,
relationship.
but yes,
When I grew up in New York, right? And when I moved out here about like 5 years ago, I would see like these beautiful young, like 20-something girls stepping out of Maseratis and like all these expensive
they
cars. And I
Armenian?
was like, no, they're not. Just like hot, like blonde chicks. And I was like, what the fuck is happening here?
some
I'm
old
like,
dude.
that can't all be daddy money. I'm like, that's not
not
daddy
daddy
money.
money. It's
and then a
old
friend of
dudes.
mine told me that these are kept women.
Yeah.
There are a lot of kept women
Oh,
here.
yeah.
And I was like, whoa.
Oh, there's guys that have
I was
like,
like,
a harem
why
of
did
women
my
they do
mom
that
teach
with.
me how to be a hoe? I gotta work
Yeah.
for my money. This is bullshit.
Dude, remember that I guess he was Saudi Arabian nobility or royalty or
Yeah.
whatever, and he was living here, and then like this is like in the last couple months.
Yeah, you're
The guy
talking
that's
about
beating
trying to
around.
rape the girl, the worker.
And he had like diplomatic immunity.
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
whatever.
Oh,
Yeah.
God, that
And
guy.
we were like,
Douche
fuck
nozzle.
that, because some woman was trying, all bloodied and battered, was trying to like escape over the gate of his estate.
Yes.
And so they did. They
In Beverly Hills, right?
I think so. Like
Yeah.
that area, and they were like, "Fuck diplomatic immunity," and
That's
they
right.
found out he had all these women that he was torturing and like
Yes.
sexually assaulting, like 30
Yeah.
women or something that were like
Yes.
on the premises
Yeah.
He
that were
fled.
being kept
Didn't
there.
he?
Yeah,
Like, he flee
these
back to the
fuckers.
country?
He's
by
back
the-
in Saudi
Can I
Arabia.
just say
Yeah.
something about Saudi Arabia? I have a personal vendetta against those motherfuckers. First of all,
I love this
What
woman.
these motherfuckers have single-handedly done to the. Let me tell you, like I'm Pakistani. I grew up in Pakistan. I'm Muslim, right? I'm not a practicing Muslim, but I'm Muslim by culture. Okay, and let me tell you what they've single-handedly done to the Muslim culture. By itself. Wahhabism, which is the extreme form of Islam, was born in Saudi Arabia. Yet we are the biggest fucking supporters of Saudi Arabia. They just became the head of the Human Rights Council in the UN, which is a fucking joke.
Insane, yeah.
These motherfuckers can fucking go drown in the fucking Pacific Ocean for what they have They come here, fucking walk around with their fucking money and their arrogance. They think they can like sexually assault women because that's what they do fucking back home. And nobody fucking calls them out. Nobody calls these motherfuckers out. Nobody fucking calls them out. And now, like, when stuff like this happens, they're like, oh my God, my little boy, he was just trying to have a little fun. It's like, no, he's a fucking piece of shit.
scumbag,
because
yeah.
you're
He's
a piece of shit.
sociopath.
Yeah, and
He's
you
like
raised a
Caligula.
fucking, yeah.
There's
He,
just too many Caligulas these days.
Too
You can,
many
like, be like,
Caligulas.
that's
Well, you know,
Caligula.
but we support that. We support these
Well,
people.
yeah, we
What-
support them, and tell me if I'm wrong, but like, and I did. I just remembered. I interrupted you
blocking.
earlier.
No.
too.
I was just gonna throw down because he's a diplomat. What makes him a diplomat? How does so we can't touch him? We can't
Yeah.
do anything. To
Right,
him.
they come with immunity
'Cause he's
because they're royalty.
He's
He's
royalty.
royalty, so he's
Yeah.
part.
But
He's
he
a,
doesn't. But the royalty, the immunity didn't apply to him this time.
No.
So he had to.
Right.
He had
Not
to
for
leave the
murder.
country.
Right.
I don't believe immunity applies to murder or rape and things like that.
I don't think so.
Yeah.
I don't
Really?
think it.
Yeah.
I don't know about.
Yeah,
I
you
don't
can
know
break a
about
lot of
that.
laws,
I
but
grew
I
up
don't believe you
outside of
can
DC,
rape.
and
because the the guy that's racing down his fucking car and all that kind of shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
That's right,
Oh,
that
drag
guy.
racing. Yeah.
Yeah. That's the same guy, right? The same
no,
guy.
that's a different one.
That's a
Tell
different
me if
guy.
I'm
Yes.
wrong. My
Yes.
understanding as an American, as an informed American who frequently reads, things from Al Jazeera written by Middle Eastern journalists themselves, especially after 9/11. That's when I really got into Al Jazeera.
Yeah, Al Jazeera is really good.
Al Jazeera is great.
Yeah.
I'm a big
But
fan.
correct me if I'm wrong. My understanding is that it's not Saudi Arabians. It's the royalty. This is a group
It
of
is the
people
royalty, 100%.
that has literally forces their people to live in squalor
That's right.
while they live in palaces plated in gold.
Listen, I have a personal experience. Sorry, I have a personal experience in Saudi Arabia. When I was about 11, 12 years old, my parents.
what you did.
My parents,
Now they're
I know,
coming. The
and now
king,
Homeland
the
Security is
prince,
here.
They're coming
the king,
for
they're
us.
all coming.
That's
Anytime
a-
a brown
that's a
person
military
starts talking,
copter.
Homeland Security shows up.
That's not a
Jesus
normal
Christ.
helicopter.
Like,
That's a
did she
military
just
helicopter.
say,
He just-
fuck Saudi Arabia?
I sure did.
Is Saudi Arabia
Fuck Saudi Arabia.
democracy?
With
Bush
a
climbs
smile
in
on
the
my
window.
face.
Bush
It's not.
climbs in
By
the
the way,
window
you're
and goes,
Pakistani.
monarchy.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for your cooperation and obvious involvement in helping us get Osama bin Laden. I just read the most fascinating article recently about what really happened there.
He was right there. He was like right by the military base.
Yeah, see, I have a weird thing on Osama.
Like a mile.
Dude, don't even
A
get me started
mile
on the
away
Pakistani
from their
government.
equivalent to West Point, essentially.
So the Pakistani the Pakistani CIA is called the ISI, right?
the
Okay.
ISI.
And the ISI has been playing both sides of the coin for a while.
Oh, yeah.
So they go to the Taliban and Al Qaeda and they say,
Love
"You're
it.
my Muslim brethren," and they come to us and they're like, "We'll help you catch the fuckers. Give us the money."
Right.
And there's nothing we can
Allegedly,
do.
According to this report that was in, I think, the London Book of Review, I don't know what it's called, but it was written by one of the biggest whistleblowers of all American journalists, especially of our generation.
Yeah.
Basically, allegedly, it was a former ISI operative that basically. Because we got to remember, we had like a $250,000 reward for Osama
That's right.
bin Laden. So he
Yeah.
We
left
found him through the
ISI,
DNA.
turned us in, and now we're harboring that person allegedly. And the only reason why the Pakistani government and the ISI, didn't they denied any involvement or even knowledge of what was going on is because you're right. There is a schism. There is a duality within that government and
Yeah.
in the military.
You have to understand Pakistan
There
is
are
a nuclear
fundamentalists.
power.
And
Yeah.
they
Yeah.
didn't want to. They
They,
didn't. wanna
they
piss
can't
off-
fuck with that.
Well, but here's
Forgot
the
about
thing,
that.
though. I have a
Very
different take
nuclear
on
power.
Osama bin Laden because Osama bin Laden was fighting the Russians
That's right.
who invaded
That's a demon
We
Yeah.
Afghanistan.
gave him
Created.
weapons
Well,
to
wait.
fight the Russians during the Cold War.
We backed him. We gave him weapons.
Yep.
Not we, because I had
We gave
nothing
the
to do with
Taliban.
it. But the government, our
Burger-
government,
Because they were serving our
well,
purpose.
Burger
our
for the
government
CIA
wanted
in the
him
80s.
to fight the Russians, get rid of the Russians, so we could do exactly what the Russians were doing. Now, when we tried to do that, Osama bin Laden went, "Fuck you." Now he's part of the Saudi royalty. Osama bin Laden. He walked away from billions of dollars to fight us against his family for the Afghani people. So I see
And not even
him.
for the Afghani people.
Yeah.
They didn't do anything for the Afghani
And-
people.
and
The Taliban single-handedly destroyed whatever
Yeah.
what was left of Afghanistan.
What I'm
Well,
saying
and
is,
I thought
theoretically, their ideal was for this way of life, right or wrong, whether we all agree or not. We can go to Christianity, the Quakers, and all that, and see oppression. What I'm saying is, though, theoretically, he just said, "Look, you don't need to fucking be here. We don't need Americans here." And so, yeah, he did partner up with the Taliban because that's who was willing to fight the Americans. But the thing a lot of people don't understand about Osama bin Laden is he walked away from the easiest possible life of being that little dickhead in Beverly Hills to fight wars and live in caves. And I always say, it's like I always said
because he
about...
was a psychopath.
well, but it's like I always
he
said...
had a different need.
I'm 100% Jewish, and my thing was when with the whole Arafat thing and all this. I'm not a fan of Arafat, but the people who were fighting, the Palestinians who were giving up their life to make a point, I said, then something wrong is going on because people don't kill themselves. I know after a while it was bullshit, but the original suicide bombers were people that were so oppressed and so sick of it that they were saying, we will kill ourselves to make a point.
Sure.
And nobody was listening, and I was one of many Jews who were like, wait a goddamn minute. Some shit's not being cool here because people are killing themselves and people need to realize.
The Israeli government accidentally blew up a United States, no, it wasn't a destroyer or battleship, was it? Yeah.
Accidentally or?
Yeah, it was.
Okay. It's usually always say accidents, but
No, but but that's the thing. A lot of people don't understand. Like with Osama bin Laden, even Saddam Hussein, we created him.
Saddam Hussein you went to school in Michigan, didn't he?
But that's what so many people. I think Osama bin Laden was educated out here.
And that's what happens to people who go
go
to school in Michigan. They become dictators.
But it's all such fake bullshit,
There's a great line from just to bring it back to George Clooney. There's a great line from a George Clooney movie. It was the one where they were trying to get a nuke went missing. Someone stole a nuke. And in that movie, someone says, "Yeah, it's the United States. We educate half the world's terrorists."
Yep. And not only
is that Nicole Kidman? Is it the Peacemaker? Is it the Peacemaker?
We educate them.
That was a great movie.
We educate them and
Look,
supply
we know
them.
that there's no money in peace.
Well, and this is the thing. We hate Osama bin Laden.
There's no money in a cure.
We hate Osama bin Laden.
Thing. Yeah.
Remember, we hate Osama bin Laden because he blew up the trade towers. Except for there's no way in hell he had a goddamn thing to do with it. There's no way in hell one motherfucking Arab person
let's not even forget that the money that was being funneled, right? And most of the people who blew up the planes and and the World Trade Center were Saudis. We didn't go after Saudi.
Well, and we're saying they're Saudis.
We didn't go after the Wahhabism in Saudi Arabia. We did not go and question the royalty.
No.
We didn't do anything.
We went to a completely different country.
As a matter of fact, the Osama family, part of the Osama family that was here, they were
rushed
taken
back.
out of the country.
They were rushed
out,
back safely, and by us. And so this is the thing, though. That's exactly the whole.
That's
fact
Bush era, by the way.
Anybody who has a first grade education could realize a building hit at the top that's already built to take a jet hitting it, that whose metal will not burn under jet fuel. This building came straight down. Not possible. Not possible.
Toppled.
There's nothing else that needs to be said. This cannot happen unless this building was blown up from the bottom when the planes hit.
Which it was.
We know that.
I saw it
Yeah.
live. I saw
Me
the second plane
too.
because I'm from
Me
the
too.
East Coast.
Yeah.
I saw the second plane go into the tower live. And I don't
you mean
know.
being there
I feel
or on TV?
on TV.
Yeah, that's what I was watching.
Yeah,
I
we all
feel
did.
like-
A lot of
I
us
feel
did.
like we all, we
Everyone
just
knows.
forgot all the interviews that we heard
Yeah.
on the news
Yeah.
report that day that
The
we saw
explosions.
live, that people heard an explosion in the basement.
We
in
know
the
a
garage,
plane.
and
We
then
know.
the plane
Yeah.
hit.
We know a plane
here's-
didn't hit the Pentagon.
So there's a few theories, right? There's a few theories
Yeah, the
that are
Pentagon.
One
around
of the-
that.
So
right?
we've
There's a
just
few
booted
different theories.
Osama
Yeah,
out
So
of the
my
equation.
friend, so I grew up in New York City, right? And on September 10th, 2001, my friend John is at the World Trade Center, right? So he's walking through and he sees all these dogs and all these cops, right? So he stops and he asks the cops, he's like, hey man, what's with all the dogs? Is there like a bomb in the building? They're like, no, this is just
A
regular, just a drill. This is just a regular maintenance, whatever the fuck they were calling it. And he was like, something seems funny, right? And then he walked away. And the next morning, the towers fell.
There was
right?
another
But then
major drill.
Seven World Trade went down too, because my brother was sitting on the bridge trying to go to work. He was supposed to be work early, but he didn't. And Seven World Trade that collapsed by itself, by the
Yeah.
way. He
Mhm.
was
On
working in Seven
itself.
World Trade and saw the Seven World Trade go down and turned around and went back to Jersey because that's where he used to live.
Yeah, he's like, fuck
I mean, this is some wild shit.
Well, better than that, there was a whole floor of Israeli people that didn't show up to work. An entire company that did not show
On
up
one
that
of the floors
day.
of the World
This
Trade
is a
Center?
fact, 100% fact. None of them died from an entire floor. This was a floor that had been shut down toward the bottom, that had been shut down for construction. The construction was putting the bombs in. They
Yeah.
didn't show up because they don't want to fucking die, and none of them are going to say shit because they don't want to die. Look at Snowden. Look at anybody who speaks up, dead or out of this country or fleeing for their life. And so, yeah, I mean, there is no question. So then we remove Osama bin Laden from the entire equation.
Well,
we
there
remove
were-
Arabs from the entire
Allegedly,
equation.
he
Middle
was
Easterns.
being seen trained by a doctor on a U.S. military base a month before 9/11. There is so much like crazy conspiracy about the fact that Osama was working for us. He was a CIA operative, and that's why it took us over 10 years to find him. And really, it was, I guess, just pressure from our own government and international community to actually get this guy. That was
I gotta
allegedly
say- If it
was him,
responsible for
I gotta
this.
say,
If it was
quote
even him.
unquote, find him, because what do? We dumped him in the sea.
No, and according to this report I read, I'll pull it up when we move on to the next topic. I'll look for it. Apparently, what actually happened is they threw his body over the helicopter.
Yeah.
Well, but what we're
So they say.
told, what we're
Yeah.
told
There's
is he's
only-
dropped in the sea.
Yeah.
But we
were
don't
told
see the
that.
body.
The reporters
Sleeping
that
with the
kinda
fishes.
Yeah.
corroborated this article that I read recently, and a very respected journalist whose names I'm blanking on now. They were only able to find one person who wasn't even there, didn't see the body drop overboard into the ocean. But
yeah.
allegedly saw I think 4 or 6 images of a body wrapped up, unidentified, going over
Or-
and then hitting the water, and then there's a
Well,
splash.
if it
and
falls the same thing as Saddam was saying when they hung him, which is really weird, in a weird cave or
Right.
cabin or whatever
Yeah.
that was.
Yeah.
You didn't know that was him. It could have been all.
Oh, I don't know. I had a friend whose dad worked for the United States. He's an attorney, and he went over there. He's one of the guys that sentenced him to death.
To
Okay,
me though, it's just so sad. And to go back to Tarantino, he's 100% right. No, he's 100% right. But as a world, things aren't right. And as a nation, we are the most lied to people, the most ignorant, unknowledgeable people about what goes on in this world.
Not us in this room.
No, we know. No, but yeah, we rule. No, but what it is, and you guys out there that are listening also fucking
you
rule.
rule.
The rest of the world, no, the rest of this nation though, we're not told. We're kept. Russians, Chinese are told more shit than we are about what's really going on. They've already been told there's aliens.
Do you hear about the blimp that collapsed in Pennsylvania today?
No.
So we're surveillance every day. We're being watched.
Well, that's the thing. When they say
being
they
watched
couldn't
right
find
now.
they couldn't find Osama bin Laden, but they could find me right now. But they couldn't find
So
one of the
there-
most wanted.
there's a
6-foot tall
Yeah.
Arab on
Thank you.
dialysis.
so there's a surveillance blimp from
That's
the army.
because you also don't have 6 wives. Like,
You don't know that. No, I'm.
Real quick before we move on, I also want to say
Burger
there
just
was
took a dark
another
turn.
notorious drill that was going on at the same time in 9/11. What's the radar system? What's that called? The North American.
the radar system.
Do you know what I'm talking about?
The boop.
NAFTA.
NAFTA.
No,
What?
no,
They
it's,
had scrambled all the jets on the northeastern seaboard that morning. And so when 9/11 happened, the radar system, they had no idea what was going on because they were in drill mode.
Yeah, there were so many. But
Anything that could have intercepted and prevented planes from going into fucking civilian
Also,
a tower
I want
with
to say
a ton
about
of
with all the
people
planes
working in it?
hitting the Pentagon plane. We don't even know the flight number of that plane.
well, and you know what? Because there was no plane. It was a missile, and it was shown.
We don't.
But
we know the
but
other
beyond
3
that,
flights.
Though,
That's it.
You know what's even better is about a couple months before that, there was a plane that entered airspace that shouldn't have. It entered an airspace it shouldn't have. Within 20 seconds, 2 fighter jets were on both sides of the plane.
wow.
Yet planes are flying into the fucking trade towers. One hits, no fighter pilots in the air, no fighter
Yeah.
jets in the air. You had plenty of time
That's
between the
why.
2 planes to get jets up there.
That's why these jets apparently they were scrambled. They were
Yeah.
off in the Atlantic Ocean
Doing a drill.
Doing a drill.
Which is a great cover. And so, but again, everything else aside, buildings don't do that. That alone,
NORAD.
You know, I was recently in
NORAD.
New York.
NORAD.
Yeah.
So I was recently
NORAD.
in New York, right? And I went to the Freedom Tower,
Yeah.
as they call them now. And I was in where Tower 1 used to stand. So I go in the Freedom Tower, and, they have... And what I was being described is that the reason the first towers collapsed the way they did is because the frame was built on the outside and it was not erect from the inside. So when the plane hit and the
Yeah.
fuel burned, it burned through the outside layer. So when it burned through the outside, that's why it took the whole building down. Versus now that the way they've built it is that it's solid from the inside. So the solidness is on the inside, not from the outside.
Is the
Even if they-
core.
Yeah, the core
Except
is solid.
in the architectural plans, the building is built to withstand a jet. The metal they use is able to withstand jet fuel burning
Right.
at that high a temperature. The only thing that would bring that building down
Thermite
would be
reaction.
or demolition.
It was an implosion. You see
Yeah.
it. It was imploding.
And it was failed a while back. They
I-
tried to do it a while back, and it
They
just
tried to
blew up
tip
the
the-
I
bottom.
knew a
They tried
doctor
to
that
tip it.
died. I knew a Pakistani doctor, because there were so many that were being rushed from Jersey City and from Jersey, and they were being brought into New York City. And one of the things that was described to me was that when people were rushing into Tower 1 and Tower 2 to rescue people, it sounded like there were bombs going off, like pop,
Yeah.
pop, pop,
Yeah.
pop.
That's what
pop.
I've heard, too.
And they said that what that actually was, that it wasn't actually bombs or anything. It was actually the guns in the policemen exploding in their bodies because the temperature was so high.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, I mean, but that's kind of how temperature works. There's this, like, when you get a lot of fuel going, like when
The
you have
heat
a campfire.
increases, yeah.
Yeah, the
But-
heat increases. And
But the
it's like heat-
intensification would never bring down that metal. And even if it did burn it, the fact that it was hit low enough in that sense that the top would have come down, not straight.
Well, the thing is, too, with going back to the Pentagon, if the plane hits the Pentagon, you expect like 3/4 of the Pentagon to burn and explode, but it didn't because it just boom
Yeah.
right there, just in that
Yeah, it
little
was a
spot.
missile. No
Yeah.
fuel. It was a missile.
And there's no camera. There's one
What about
shot.
that whole story about that plane going down? That
The
Flight
Pittsburgh one.
Flight 32?
Yeah, and that had the two heroes that were like, oh, what do you think that's like a made up story?
My theory on that
Yeah,
is they
I mean, it's a
stopped
more
the guy.
romantic story.
Right.
if you
My
really-
theory is they stopped the guy.
they stopped the guy.
Stopped the guy.
Well, there is
plane was shot down.
There is
Because,
collections
yeah.
of people on the phone
that saw the plane blown up.
I
Now here's the thing: they stopped the guy. The people, the
then they were
heroes,
like, "We gotta take the
stopped
plane out."
him. But now you land that plane. Now you got a witness and witnesses. So now you got to kill people on the ground
because
You
they're
can
not
just shoot
they're
them
not,
out of the
bringing
air.
the plane down.
Yeah.
So
Dude,
like
how scary would it be? Like, let's say another 5-10 years from now, there's a whole report that comes out.
Oh,
that
there
this
will.
was a government conspiracy.
There will, just like
there
Nixon.
will be all hell
Kennedy.
should fucking
Well,
break loose.
no, and that's exactly why people of my parents' generation, the baby boomers, they're waiting for them all to die before they tell us who really killed Kennedy.
Well, yeah, who really did? But we know Kennedy was murdered by our people, by our government.
Yeah,
and we do know, or parts of our government, we do know it was a conspiracy. We know all this stuff. Here's the thing: we know our presidents aren't elected and all this stuff. Nobody's gonna do shit. We're gonna all post about it on Facebook. We're gonna all be upset, and we're gonna all do nothing. And because
how
look at
things work.
Tarantino, he says that one little thing, and he's boycotted and attacked. And what they're really worried about is that statement incites people standing up.
Well, they're
So
worried
if
about
we-
the truth.
Well, if we start with the cops, we're not stopping.
That's
Then
right.
we start wanting to find out
to
everything.
be a true patriot is to tell the truth or
Yeah.
to challenge
to prove, to bring
to-
out
yeah,
the truth, to
do
challenge
what's-
authority.
Yeah, and they're not liking it.
No.
And the more and more social media is becoming stronger and stronger. I mean, look at other countries. What is it? China? You can't, or Korea, whatever country it is. You can't. You
They're
don't
blackout.
have
They have
the
no
luxury
access to
that we
anything.
have, but we're still being restricted what we can say or do.
Yeah.
So
And when we
as
say-
our nation.
Listen,
Well-
we are beginning to punish whistleblowers. You understand
Beginning.
that?
We've
I
been
mean,
crucifying
well,
them.
I mean, look at Edward Snowden. What's happened to him?
Yeah.
He's a
Fucking
hero.
destroyed.
He's a hero.
Gone.
Hero, real hero.
They,
yeah.
He's. I mean, this
Yeah.
man is
True
a
hero.
fucking amazing.
And, you know,
human
and
being.
He's
people
the
were like,
Woodward
well-
and Bernstein of our generation.
And people were like talking about, like Hillary even said, you know, he needs to come back and deal with what legal things. He should be brought. Bernie Sanders said he should be brought back and given a parade.
100%.
Yeah, or just like
He's a hero.
The Social Network, that movie about Mark Zuckerberg.
Yes.
Where Jesse Eisenberg plays him, and they bring him in. And he's like, I think I deserve. You're welcome. Basically, they're like, for what? You hacked our system. He's like, I think I found some serious issues with your security.
That's
I
right.
just did you a favor.
Yeah.
It's like this. Yeah, we're fucked.
Yeah.
This nation's fucked.
We're fucked
And-
because you know why? Everybody who could tell us anything
If
is
we're
already
fucked,
connected.
what's going to happen to the rest of the world?
Well,
they're
they'll
moving
be a
on.
lot better off than us because they're already
They're
more
drinking
equipped
brown
to deal
water.
with it.
I'd
And
say
no,
they're
and
fucked.
you know what's funny even about that is because like me and my wife, I was talking to her about it. She was saying like the women that get raped by their husbands, by their boyfriends in like these Middle Eastern places. I go, it's not Middle Eastern places. These are villages.
Yeah.
These are small places.
Yeah.
It's not
Main
rape.
cities don't have
and
it.
it's not rape.
Yeah.
Because the law is not classifying it as rape. Those women don't have rights. Do I agree? Fuck no. Should those men have their dicks cut off? Yes. In that place, though, the law says this is not rape, so it's not rape.
Right.
But she was like, all of them have to wear veils, and I brought up Tehran, and we've talked about this before, but I brought up Tehran, all these places where no, they don't.
Yeah.
They're living just like us. They're
Yeah.
having tons of fun.
You know, let
And
me
in
tell you
China,
something.
yeah.
Let me tell you something.
Yeah.
Let me tell you something crazy. Okay, when you go to the rich of any of these countries, may it be Pakistan, may it be India, may it be even Saudi Arabia, may it be Kuwait, Qatar, Emiratis, like anywhere you
They have
go, right?
everything we have.
Whatever is the middle class and the lower class, they're the ones who are the most religious conservative, right? They're the ones who are like kept under the thumb
Yeah.
under their religious,
Yeah.
auspices of like,
Oh, yeah.
religious and you have to be conservative.
Makes sense.
The rich motherfuckers are the ones balling out. They don't give a fuck. They're
Yeah, just
drinking.
like
they're
Republicans
partying.
here.
Yeah.
Even the
You
middle,
know how many
even the
swinger
middle
clubs there
class,
are in Pakistan? It's wild.
Yeah.
In the upper
Yeah.
echelon, it's like drinking, partying. It's like
Women
like
and men
nobody's
dancing,
business.
humping, doing whatever
industry.
in
Whatever.
public. In
It's-
public.
But that's very
The
common
rules
in our
are
country.
always different for the rich in any
Even
country.
in this country,
In this
and
country,
that's
yeah.
what people don't
Everywhere,
get.
everywhere.
That's
The
why,
hypocrisy, man.
Well,
Everywhere.
Well, we were talking to your friend. What's his name, Johnny? If you don't want to tell
You
me,
have a
just
friend,
don't.
John?
No, his friend's a
Are you
nun,
sure?
and he's from where? Where's he from?
He's from Morocco.
Okay, and
Morocco.
so what he was saying,
Highest
what he
Muslim
was
population
saying,
in the world.
and what he was
Morocco.
saying is, and what I think everybody should fucking pay attention to. He said the Moroccan people and the Muslim Moroccans and the Moroccan people look at the Jews and the Jews look at them as cousins.
Yeah.
They call each other
'cause
cousins.
Exactly, because guess what?
But no, we
During-
hate each other. Remember?
During the
No.
Spanish Inquisition,
right.
when Jews and Iberian Jews, known as Sephardic Jews,
Yes.
fled from the Iberian Peninsula, modern day Spain, France,
Yep.
Portugal, where'd they go? They went to North Africa. They went
Yep.
to Morocco.
Latin
where,
America.
you
We
know,
talked about this last
Jews
week, yeah.
and North African Muslims coexisted
Yes.
very peacefully
Yes.
together until the fall of the Habsburg dynasty, when then there was the big migration of those Jews and Western European Jews to Eastern Europe.
Well, but I mean, even beyond that, it was just the political reasons to
That's
create
right.
the problem, to be able to divide the land, to be able to run certain parts. And since Israel would be willing to work with America, and like I say, I love Israel. I'm never.
That's America's
That's my
baby.
homeland. What I'm saying though is, because Israel is willing to work with America, then everyone else became enemies that weren't willing to, and Israel was used as part of the ploy to be able to fight and do this stuff. Other people, just like the 9/11 was another ploy to be able to go and try and take over oil or whatever the real reason, who knows.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. And what he said was so poignant, cousins. And this is the thing. You look at whites and blacks in America, we're the same damn people. Southern blacks, Southern whites are exactly the same, to the dialect, to everything, identical, brothers, sisters. But this country has chosen to and has succeeded in dividing them to let them know they hate each other, even though they don't. In the cities, I mean, there's towns they live in, they know each other, they hang out,
Yeah.
they don't have the
But
problems.
black people have mad swag, though. You gotta give it to
The
them.
what?
Black people have mad swag, though.
So
Well,
much
now-
swagger.
So
see-
much swag.
I would agree with that in the joking sense.
It's not in a serious sense.
The
though.
serious sense, black people like all people. And the beauty of my life is I teach. So I meet kids from all over and all kinds of kids. And the thing I notice with them and even adults is every one of us has replicas in different colors, and they act just like us. We were talking earlier, I had a student today, the other day, a kid come out to me, a young man, and basically come out to me and start asking me about it. And what I thought was, one, I'm so blessed to have this opportunity, and I'm so honored that he thought it safe to talk to me.
Yeah.
At the same time, I was so glad that I was the first person he talked to about this, because my take on it is we are human beings. There is no wrong.
100%.
If you are not hurting someone, you are not wrong, period. And he asked me about religion, and what I said about religion is, if your religion says that God is perfect, then God makes no mistakes. So however you are is how you should be, and that's how God wants you to be. And you have to be you in that sense, based on religion. Now, without religion, none of us are wrong either, and we all should be how we are,
Yeah.
But there's such a high suicide rate between young men and women who are homosexual and are so afraid.
Yeah.
Had he talked to someone who went, "You're not, don't worry, you're not," that's like no, that's just something you're thinking about. No, and they were religious or something, they might have sent that kid into such a closet
Yeah.
that he would have eventually killed himself or something, based on talking to the wrong
Nobody
person.
contemplates about sucking a dick. If either you are or you're not.
You know what it is? I believe we're all sexual.
Yeah.
Period. I'm of
Nobody
the
taught
age.
me to be attracted to men.
Yeah. Well, but society told you to be attracted to men. You were attracted to the kind of person you're attracted to. It could be a woman, and you would be just as
But
attracted.
when I was a kid, I wasn't told like, "Hey, you're gonna find yourself a nice boy."
no,
It
but every
wasn't-
show told you that.
And
Everything
even if they
around you
did,
showed
and
you
if I
that.
was a lesbian, I'd be like, "No, I like girls."
Right, but that's you. Most people aren't that strong, and society tells them that's awkward, that's weird. It's queer.
Right.
Queer in itself. Back in my day, that's odd. And so
yeah.
even if I was,
Well, my mom still
with
thinks I'm
me
a
because of
lesbian,
my
but-
dad, I would have just been cool with it anyway because he wouldn't
Yeah.
have given a shit, and he was the coolest guy I knew. So but so many kids aren't,
Yeah.
and they end up killing themselves over this. And I've always said,
So
Oprah
crazy.
Winfrey, Tom Cruise, John Travolta, Will Smith, all these people who are either homosexual
Yeah.
or they are responsible for every death because if they would just come out. If John Wayne would have came out, if all these motherfuckers would have just
John
came out.
Wayne?
Oh yeah, it's well
Yeah,
known.
John Wayne.
Well known.
Yeah,
well
he-
known in Hollywood. John Wayne was flaming as shit.
Really?
Yeah, motherfucker couldn't even ride a horse for real.
Well, because he was a good writer of the things. You know what I'm saying?
could ride a
okay.
horse.
Yeah,
All
one
right.
of the things about though, like for me, there's also like across the board. I think everyone should be free, and there's nothing wrong.
Yeah.
Because like for me, it was always like, my mother tried to make me gay as a child, so it was
She
like,
did?
yeah, totally, yeah,
Succeeded.
it's full on. Oh yeah, it was,
How did she
but
do
I'm
that?
not a dick eater.
She put dick in his mouth instead of a
Yeah.
pacifier. Yeah, it
Yeah,
was.
it was mainly like
That's what
massive
they did with me.
Yeah, it was
massive
milk
amount
either
of
For
way.
me.
Yeah,
musical theater mainly, but.
his mom's a lesbian.
Yeah.
Musical thing.
Johnny's mom's a
Yeah,
lesbian.
so, but no, I mean, there was a tendency, like more, where I felt like I was disappointing my mother, by
Yeah, see-
liking young sluts instead of having them.
I always think my ex-wife is gay, and if she is, I wish she would just be it
come out
before
and
it's
be
too
it.
old. Yeah, people don't get it. Don't be that old person who comes out finally. Fucking just be you. It's so much funner
You
to
know
be
what's
you.
fascinating
Cary
is
Grant.
like in America.
Yeah.
Still in America, we're still struggling with the sexuality issue, right? Like
Yeah.
about people just being open with their sexuality. If you think like America, which we are considered, a very progressive nation, but you go to the Middle East or you go to South Asia, I mean, people don't even talk about it. I mean, now like people are slowly beginning to talk about.
But they got
in
a
the
million.
Middle East,
They got a million of them.
nobody talks about it. I mean,
Yeah.
listen, you go to Dubai, you see these grown ass men holding hands with each other. You're like, You're like,
Or
why are
little-
you
or young
holding
boys,
hands?
Or young boys.
Young
with
boys,
old
and you
dad.
just do you know that one of the local Emiratis that I was talking to told me that about 50 to 60% of local Emiratis are gay.
Yeah.
Women and men.
Yeah.
Fascinating, because
Yeah.
men spend so much time with men, and women spend so much time with women.
Well, and the thing is,
You just come
yeah,
together to procreate,
Yeah.
keep the family name, buy some Gucci bags.
because we're all sexual. We are all sexual. You put
wanna buy
all
some
men
Gucci
together,
bags.
we're gonna
It's-
fuck each other. You know what? You put all men together, we're
I
gonna
mean, I
fuck.
wouldn't
You
eat
put
a
all
puss
women
for it,
together,
but-
they're gonna fuck each other.
What,
it's
what,
just how it goes.
What animal is gay? Is openly gay?
Anyone that has no choice.
Animal. I mean, no
You know,
choice.
I mean-
Yeah.
No,
No, there's
dude, let me
animals.
tell you-
But lots
no,
of
let me tell you
animals
something.
are gay by choice.
Homosexuality exists in nature
every
in
species.
the
Yeah.
animal kingdom.
Every
like,
species.
to
What
a
percentage?
ridiculous
What there's a
degree.
percentage?
I think it's almost all. I think
Really?
it's almost all
no,
mammals.
no. What's the total
Oh,
percentage?
like
There's
how many
a-
of each?
Yeah, 10 or like
We're-
20%.
You know what? As humans,
Oh.
we're about 40-something percent.
Because it was funny,
Yeah.
because no one thinks about this. I'm going to use a movie reference. In Jurassic Park, there's because they use the frog. There's a real frog
Frog,
that
yeah.
actually switches sexes,
Right.
and that was the controversy of the whole movie. It was like, wait, you can't do that. You can't. It's like, but it's nature. That's what happens.
Animals that
That's
get themselves pregnant.
Machina.
It's animal. Yeah.
Yeah, there's
There's
animals
a frog
that
that can switch
self-reproduce.
sex.
Yeah.
Now, but here's
Can you do that in humans? Like, can I?
well, you never know with the evolution.
That's why they're
Yeah.
putting people DNA in our processed meat.
Yeah,
I am interested.
2%. No, you know what? You know what it is though. It's like
Good
this. To
callback.
me, homosexuality, heterosexuality, those things, even bisexuality, those are not choices. You are just who you are.
100%.
Now, cutting your dick off or adding a dick is a choice. Not feeling feminine, not feeling masculine.
Don't cut your dick off.
Cutting a body part off is a fucking choice,
are beautiful.
and their rights
Sorry.
are jumping
Yes.
that of women and homosexuals and blacks. Their transgender has jumped the rights of all these people because somehow we can bottle it. We can't be okay with
because
the other.
we can make money off of it.
Somehow we're bottling it. It's great. It's good publicity. It's working out
Well,
fantastic.
Obama. I have a transgender friend. Jamie is her name, which is great. Cause I should ask her that. Did you have to change your name?
Yeah.
Because if she didn't, I mean, if I were to,
She's always Jaime, so
Oh,
not
she was-
really.
right?
was-
My
I need
name's
a Jamie.
Alex. Like if I ever wanted to transition to become a dude, I wouldn't have to change my
Yeah,
name.
no,
which
you
is
just be Alex.
convenient.
Your parents thought ahead.
But I should ask her, because she was telling me the other day about how Obamacare, she can get a vagina now. Yeah. She can just, Obamacare
Didn't
will give her a
Fleshlight do
vagina.
that?
And she was asking me, she was like, should I do that? Because I feel like if I had like a real vagina or quote unquote a real vagina, that I'd be more appealing to men and I'd get a man that way. And I was like, I don't know, Jamie. Like most of the men I know just want to fuck girls up the ass anyway. I
That's
just
the
don't know if
truth.
they really care.
And not just that, though.
Hurts up the pooper.
Yeah. Are you looking for a man who's looking for a vagina? Because you're fucking with them then. That ain't a real vagina. So are you telling them? Because I know a lot of transgender people that don't tell. And they pull it off.
Oh, snappy
and
snap.
that's wrong as fuck because you are basically raping someone at that point because they are having sex with someone
It
they
is
did
wrong
not
as
know.
fuck, and
Yeah.
I'll tell you why. I went to the store one day looking for a flashlight, and no one told me that the flashlight wasn't a real flashlight, and
Yeah.
I was like, "Fuck
Yeah.
that!"
She's walking around her house with another pussy seeing nothing. She's just like,
Deception. By
No.
the way, I apologize to the group for being on my phone earlier. It was a work thing.
oh, we all do it. Yeah.
but
Thelma's the worst.
Have we
I'm the
gotten
worst.
to the
I'm
topic
checking.
of the kid of the cop that threw the kid?
Oh, yeah. So,
I really
so,
want to know
so
what
this
happened
this
there.
school cop, basically a resource
wait,
police,
okay.
in a school in I think it was Bronx in New York.
Was it New York?
Yeah. They were having a problem with this
No,
kid
it's
in the
Spring
class.
Valley.
God damn it.
North
Hold
Carolina
on.
Spring. There's
You
so
might
many
be right.
Spring
Hold on.
Valleys.
I
I
gotta
don't
look it
know
up again.
which Spring Valley was.
Son of a
Spring Valley
bitch,
High
my
School.
fact-checking.
That's what it was.
It was like some hick town.
We need a fact
I
check.
always
where
worry
it's
that
like
I'm gonna
out
go
of
forward and
pump
it's
up
gonna be
the
porn.
volume or something, where it's like this super corrupt little police department at a high school.
No.
Yeah, I was. But
It's a police officer.
he was a school police
Flip's
officer
kid.
from the sheriff, but supposedly like there was a lot of kids who were like not shocked by it because he was always throwing around kids and fucking with people, and it's like like
What happened?
Southern high.
Oh, it goes on in
public
lots
high
of schools.
school.
No, it goes on in lots of schools in
Yeah.
LA too, where they abuse the kids.
But it went viral, of course. It went viral. That's the thing too.
Okay, so
It
there's
went
a video.
Viral.
That's all I
So it's
care
a video, and
let's
the
just do
cop,
this here. Let's just do
the yard duty more than anything. Did the cop have a gun on him?
Yeah.
Okay. Really?
yeah, they carry guns in the school.
Really? These
Yeah.
days?
No, but I've seen shit when I was down in off of Compton Firestone.
Yeah.
The school police would try and fuck with kids, and I would always stand up for
As a
them because-
kid, when I was growing
like,
up,
I
would
don't
know
dig it.
it was
I
yard
was the kid
duties
who
on
got fucked
golf
with by
carts.
police
Bert
all
is
the
showing
time.
me the video now.
Here we go.
So
That's him flipping this
Viral
girl. So
video.
he's flipping the girl. He flipped the whole desk with the girl in it.
And then tosses her.
So
Like so meta.
I know, and then
He
everyone's
took
like,
the term "flip a bitch"
Look
a
at-
little too far.
Yeah, look at this.
yeah.
Oh my god.
And dragging her out of it.
Dark? Is that dark?
This is
I'm
insane.
gonna get in trouble.
So he.
And then nobody
You know
acted.
what? I'm
Yeah.
gonna say this because people make
Say
a big.
it, goddammit.
God damn it!
Just say it.
And speaking of like terrorism and all the shit we were talking about before, the Second Amendment is that the one where you have the right to carry guns, bear
yeah,
arms.
yeah.
That's the
I
biggest
bear my
bunch of
arms all the
bullshit.
time.
It's the biggest bunch of bullshit in the world. But I'll get back to that in a second. People want to. They say for gun restriction, for gun laws, like people need to take a psych screening. We need to prove that they're not insane, that they're not going to be a danger, and all this stuff. They have to meet all this criteria before
for the
they have the
moment.
right to have a gun. What the? Where is that argument in regards to cops? Okay, because the way every video
Well, they have
I
a huge
see
background.
like this,
Well,
these
it-
cops are
yeah.
these
It-
cops
it
are
goes-
treating
They
people
go through
like
psych
animals.
and everything, supposedly.
It goes. I think. I mean, again, I've been bringing this back because we got into so many tangents tonight.
what we
When was the last time like the cops had guns? Was it the 40s?
Yeah, it was like
30s,
40s when they started.
So it's right
going
after
away from the billy
Prohibition.
clubs, yeah.
When Prohibition,
Yeah.
Prohibition came in.
When
it's
who had
organized
the guns?
crime?
Wait, when who had the guns?
Well, the guns, the gangsters.
Who had the
and-
best guns?
Who had the best guns?
Yeah. The gangsters.
The gangsters.
gangsters.
So then
because
the cops got guns.
yeah.
The Tommy gun.
Yeah, and so the cops got
famous
machine
Tommy
guns.
gun
So the
was
cops got
actually
the
a
machine guns, too.
farmer's
And then they
choice.
started
They
fighting
got
back
rid
and
of
forth
coyotes.
to the
Yeah.
point where the cops had to stay on top since
Yeah.
then. And they want to
And-
stay on top.
and-
now it's
yeah.
evolved into where we are now.
And here's the thing: there's a great stupid song with a great line, which was, and it's been in other songs, but once you take them away from them, I'll gladly give up mine. I don't own a gun. What I'm saying though is, I agree that guns are stupid and they only kill.
I
What
hate
I
guns.
don't agree with is right now we got way too many criminals with guns. I get innocent kids are dying. I get idiot parents aren't locking up their guns and this and that. My problem is too many people who are criminals and things like that who would harm you if knowing that nobody had a gun have guns.
And that's the biggest, and I'm from Maryland, which has some of the
Yeah.
toughest gun legislation in the land. But we're surrounded by states like, commonwealths like Virginia, West Virginia, that make it incredibly easy to get a gun.
Yeah.
Okay? If you're a law-abiding citizen and the law comes up saying, like, you can't have a gun or you can't or whatever, people that abide the law are going to listen. Criminals don't abide the law.
No.
They're not going to go.
They're not giving up their
gonna
guns.
listen. So yeah, that's the problem with gun legislation is that when you restrict the normal civilian's right to have a gun, you're putting them at danger because criminals aren't
Yep.
going to listen anymore.
I'm going to show up to a
They're
gunfight
going to
with
go
a knife.
down to Virginia
that's why
and
you've
get a
got
gun.
They're going to go to their
your
neighbor,
own.
their uncle, their cousin. They're going to get a gun. I
Yeah.
could go to my old neighborhood right now.
Oh, yeah.
Not be in there in 20 years. I could go to somebody's house. I guarantee you they
gun.
still live there. I will get a gun today.
Yeah.
Gun legislation, the way it exists, does not work for
No.
the
Well-
reasons I just mentioned.
It's also, I mean, I don't know how I'm going to get to this, but it breaks down to parenting too.
Yes.
How you're raised. As a kid, for me, I could not own a squirt gun. My parents would not.
I'm the
my
same way
mom,
with my kids.
My mom.
I had BB guns and everything.
My
Yeah.
grandmother bought me like 2 squirt guns because my neighbor had a super soaker, and my mom's like, no, and told my grandma to take it back to Target. That's how I lived as a kid, and that's why I still to this day never shot a gun.
wow.
I've never
It's
shot.
so fun.
I have 2
I
gun
know. There you
felonies.
go. See, there's power to it. You said it. So I know people that just shoot. They go to a shooting range or whatever, or they shoot at the little mannequin,
Or
and they feel
parties
so much
in
power,
Pacoima.
and they like it because there's
I was
a
really good on the fly.
huh?
I
What?
said I were at parties in Pacoima. I was really good on the fly. Well, see, that's the thing is my life was I would drive around. I always had a gun in my car. Always had a gun on me everywhere I went.
Jeez.
But I ended up getting 2 felonies. One of them attempted murder, a gun charge, shooting, and so I couldn't have guns at all. Now here's the thing: I couldn't have a gun. I couldn't buy a gun. So immediately, I had a buddy of mine get me a gun. So now I had another Glock, and so it was actually a Colt, but it was a Glock replica.
Colt 45?
And so I used to go around with that. Then I got my second charge, and I kind of grew up a bit and stopped all that
Brandon,
shit.
you're a
Blah
real
blah blah.
badass, aren't
But no,
you?
not now. I'm an old
You're
man.
a woman. I'm a woman, and like I hate guns, but I have a weird love-hate relationship with them. In my opinion, I think every woman should have a fucking gun.
Yeah.
Yeah, I put
think
I
every
a
woman
gun or a
walking
knife.
around should have a freaking
Yeah.
gun.
My roommate,
Honestly,
she has
I
a knife.
just- my thing is like I'd rather have like a taser or a knife.
Yeah. I'd rather nobody had
No,
guns.
you don't want a knife.
I mean,
I
truly.
People with knives get shot.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but then you say
Yeah,
every
that's
woman
true.
though.
I
and
mean,
then-
honestly, my thing is like I went to a gun shooting range twice, and I hated it. Like
love that.
I hated
Yeah.
it more than
Yeah.
the other time, and I was just like,
the Israeli in
how
us. They're
could you
just
possibly?
shoot.
Israeli.
Yeah.
What?
It's
It's the Israeli. We're already.
Like,
We're
you should-
supposed to
like,
have gone to
you-
war.
Because you go to
Yeah.
Israel, you see this like fucking hot as
Yeah.
shit
Oh, God,
22-year-old girl with her nails all done, hair done, on her iPhone, carrying around an M16.
I'm visioning
Goddamn,
it.
Yeah.
like it's just hot.
Yeah, but like the whole thing that all women should have guns though, but there are definitely some women who should not have guns.
This is true.
I mean,
There's just tons of
Totally.
people who
Like-
shouldn't. Most people should not have
Like
guns.
Courtney Love should not have a gun.
Right.
Well,
Does she have a
actually,
gun?
Courtney Love should never be around someone on heroin that she wants to murder.
Courtney Love shouldn't be around
I think
people.
that's the
Period.
thing.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Courtney Love
we
should
know.
be in
I don't know if
solitary
anyone's been around.
confinement.
We've talked about this. If anyone's been around anyone on heroin, they can't get a fucking shotgun in their mouth and pull the trigger. It just doesn't happen.
Oh.
And so we know it was an assisted
bringing
Chris
up-
suicide.
Jenner
bringing up
shouldn't be around a
something.
gun
Yeah,
either.
he-
Quite frankly,
The what?
Chris Jenner, not good around a
Yeah,
gun.
probably shouldn't have a
No.
gun.
Because
She
you know
shouldn't
that
have a
bitch will
gun.
bust a cap in somebody's ass.
Quick
Yeah.
like.
You know she would.
Yeah, with
well,
her new
she's-
attitude.
Oh, she don't give a fuck.
She did fuck
will.
OJ, right? We got that figured out.
Yeah,
Okay.
she
She
fucked
did,
OJ.
really?
Yeah, she fucked OJ.
But
They-
you know,
For Chloe.
Chloe.
Going
Yeah.
Who's
back
OJ's?
to the
Yeah.
whole,
Yeah,
the
everyone
whole
knows that.
They call her the
Second
ugly
Amendment bullshit,
Kardashian.
though.
Yeah, which sucks for OJ.
This argument, these
Yeah.
gun fanatics, and these people that like are so scared about people taking away their guns, using the Second Amendment as an argument, it is not a valid argument, and you sound like a dumb piece of shit.
Yeah.
The Second Amendment exists. The reason why we have the right to bear arms is so that we can rise up against our government to start.
was the
to
sole
to have
reason.
Quentin
revolution.
Tarantino.
Guess what our government has today now, like these days,
Yeah.
folks? They have Abrams tanks. They have
Yeah.
drones.
Yeah.
They have a nuclear arsenal. We have like 11
Yeah, we can't rise up.
fleets of
Yeah.
destroyers
We
and
can't rise
battleships. The Second Amendment is obsolete and it has no practical usage anymore. Because in order for us to rise up against our government and revolt and start revolution,
It's the
we would
last thing
need
they
to
want.
have drones, nukes, all the shit that
But
our
we don't have
military
them.
has.
I don't
Well,
know.
you
I
just
don't know.
think
So the
I,
best we can do
small
is guns.
my thing.
I don't know. Yes, you're right.
Rockets?
Yeah, no, you're right. But I don't know if you ever saw Red Dawn,
Yes.
the original.
Wolverines.
Okay, they didn't even have guns to start.
Listen,
so,
my problem is when children get shot up in a daycare or in a school because
Or
some fucking
some toddler
psycho,
finds
Yeah, we
a gun
need-
and shoots their
some
older
fucking
brother's head
psycho
off.
takes a gun and decides to shoot up a fucking daycare.
Well, now here's the
and
thing.
then the
Yeah.
entire everybody gets quiet. Nobody at the in Capitol Hill speaks up and says, "These are our children dying. This is our future at fucking stake here." And they're like, and the NRA's response is, "Hey, let's give guns to the teachers." Fuck you.
Yeah,
Did
the last
you
thing I
know-
want is
Fuck
teachers
you.
with guns.
Did you
I'm
know
not
that
carrying a
every
gun.
time there's a shooting, especially like a mass shooting where white people involved, that gets a lot of attention, like media attention, gun sales skyrocket.
Oh yeah,
Skyrocket.
because people are worried they're not going to be able to get them.
People are worried that all of a sudden this is going to be the shooting that's going to
Oh, yeah.
pass all this
Yeah.
legislation, and,
And
people
we
are
won't
going
be
to
able
take
to
away
get
their guns,
guns.
so they go and they buy 'em,
Stock up on
as
guns.
much as they can.
Just
But is it also people who feel scared and want to protect their families who go buy
Absolutely,
guns?
I'm so sure.
And I think we're all for people having guns because criminals have guns.
yeah, that's it.
But I think we all kind of agree too that gee, we wish it was a world without guns.
But can we not have listen, the government has enough resources to go and crack down these people who have these guns.
Listen,
well,
well,
the
we
government
have
has
the
enough resources to
resources.
I was
videotape
a-
them and see them.
I was gonna tell a story because you both might remember this, but in North Hollywood, that bank robbery.
Yeah.
Remember that bank
Yeah.
robbery? Bank robbery where a couple guys robbed a Bank of America off of Lankershim.
AK-47.
They had weapons that the cops couldn't even handle.
The cops had to
they
go
had
to
to go to a
gun
gun
stores
store to
Yeah,
get
the cops had to go into gun stores that were
That-
nearby. 'cause
that's
there
a
happens to
great
be a lot of
point
gun stores right
because
there.
yeah, but that's a great
The cops
point.
had to go to the gun stores to
Yeah,
get
to get more because
weapons.
this was back like
These guys
1980s.
had bulletproof vests.
19
These guys had
early
bulletproof
90s.
everything.
it was late.
Yeah, they robbed the bank and they were just
Oh,
walking out.
somewhere in the 90s.
See, if that were to happen these days, I would say it was planned.
like the movie
Well-
because nowadays, all the police departments have all this military issue.
Well,
stuff
yeah,
that we've
no, it's
given
the
to them
militarization.
After, now that the
Post-
war's over, and they're looking for excuses to use that
Oh,
shit
yeah.
so they can keep it and not have to give it back to the federal
Yeah.
government.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah, and post 9/11, that was the whole thing. Is every single police department that filled out the grants, there was so much money up after
Oh, yeah.
9/11 that they went like. If you guys have ever been to like Calabasas, there's a police station, a sheriff's station up there where they have like the helicopters, the bombers, all the fucking army that they have
Oh, yeah.
now. But you know when that happened in North Hollywood,
And who's that
That
for?
was just
Oh.
regular cars.
Or the wealthiest.
Go out to Palmdale. Go out to
Yeah,
Lake Elizabeth. Go out to these places, and when you're driving, what you can see is complete stockades of tanks, of army vehicles.
Tanks?
Oh yeah, tanks
Yeah.
lined up in these areas. And now, when you think of these areas, the areas they're at, all circumference Los Angeles. So where these things are being placed, Riverside, San Bernardino, places like this, they all circumference the entire thing to the ocean around Los Angeles. So if you want to lock down a major city, you have the ability.
Well, but
within
and then
minutes.
that's where we really should like concentrate our revolutionary efforts is to get those military outposts. Then you can make a difference with the cops.
Yeah.
Because like Second Amendment's true, we need those weapons that they have.
Yeah.
So we should have tanks. We should have fucking nukes.
we would have.
You know, we should be able to do that shit. Don't fuck
Yeah.
with me, government, because I've got a backpack nuke. I do not have a backpack nuke. But
Johnny
no,
has a
God,
backpack
no.
nuke.
Hey, but why? Here's
That
my
sounds
question.
like an awesome
Here's my
punk
question,
band
okay?
name. Johnny has
Why,
a backpack
if
nuke.
we are indeed a democracy, okay, and we get to elect our own presidents and our leadership, why the fuck are we electing people that we have to defend ourselves against?
Good
Wait,
good
say that
question.
one more time because everyone blazed out.
We're dumb.
Thank you.
No, well,
If people are going to talk about protecting themselves from the government, right? And we are a democracy, and
We're
we
not.
get to pick our leadership.
Yeah.
We're not a true democracy.
No, but we don't pick
There's
our
no such
Pretending
You
thing.
we
know
were.
what it is? I think it's
Yeah.
because
We vote,
are-
right? At least we get to vote.
Pretend
we
to
get
vote, yeah.
We
The
get
power
to
Pretend.
vote.
be-
We get to vote, and we get to say, hey, this is, you have your popular vote, you have your electoral vote,
Yeah, the
whatever,
electoral
right?
vote is the
but
vote.
my question is, if we do indeed get to pick our leadership, right, then why do we have to arm ourselves to defend ourselves against that leadership? We chose that fucking leadership. So
Because we
why
don't
do
choose
we
them
have to
anymore.
now arm ourselves to protect ourselves against it? That makes no sense.
Because we don't choose them
I see what
anymore.
you're saying.
Yeah,
Makes
but
sense.
we don't choose them anymore. That's why.
What do you mean we don't choose them anymore?
They're all
How long
puppets.
has
The
the
vote's not
electoral
real.
vote been in?
So you're
in
saying that
place?
we
Electoral
didn't
vote.
Wait a
Since
minute. So are
Nixon?
you saying that we didn't choose Obama?
Oh no, not at all.
No.
Who chose Obama?
What? The Electoral College.
Electoral
Huh?
College.
Electoral College.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's
I
who
mean,
chooses
no,
for
well,
us.
no,
Yeah.
well, no. Obama is actually a
That's-
really good example of someone that won. The
Would
popular
have won
vote
the first time,
overwhelmingly.
not the second time.
It's
And
all
they
in
ran
waves.
nobody against him.
It's
They ran the biggest douche in the world
they
against him.
run everything in waves. Just look how everything's worked since the 80s. Reagan did 8 years. Bush followed because they kept the
He did
Republican
4.
thing going for
Clinton
4.
8.
Clinton 8. Bush 8. How did that happen? Obama 8. How did that happen? And what's going to happen now?
I just feel bad for.
We're made to
For
get used to
Jimmy.
8-year terms.
It's just like
Yeah.
it just
I
nothing
like
makes
Carter.
sense
I like
anymore.
Jimmy
How
Carter.
every president has been after Jimmy Carter. It's just nothing makes sense. Jimmy Carter, I think they actually really did vote for a minute, but because
But he was only a one-term president.
Yeah, and it's
Yeah.
not even about
and
that
honestly,
though.
it was the Iran Contra affair that, like, I mean,
They threw everything on him.
Reagan, yeah, and
they
Reagan was
blamed
going
him.
around before he was even elected. And
And
he was,
Re-
like,
Reagan,
looking in
I
the
mean,
camera
it's-
and being like, "I
it's
promise
all-
you,
Yeah.
if you don't let my people go, I will carpet bomb every single
Yeah.
one of your cities one by one." The second
And
I
we were all
step foot in
USA,
office.
USA.
That guy hadn't even been
Fuck the
sworn in. As
Ayatollah.
soon
Yeah,
as
yeah.
he fucking won the election,
Yeah.
they let the fucking hostages in Iran. They
It's
got
it's
out.
just it's these weird waves of how things are working, and so we're never going to have a one-term president. I think
I don't think we will. I think we're going to jump to 8-year terms.
we might. I mean,
And
last
then
one was
they're gonna get a
FDR.
16-year term.
So, oh god,
If they do 2 terms.
I just want to die.
so,
Just get me
FDR
out
didn't
here.
serve 3 consecutive terms, though, right? He served.
FDR
2
did
terms
4.
and then
He did 4 in a row.
yeah, he was 4
in a row.
Yeah.
That's why they
I
started
thought he
doing
did
it.
1 or 2
No.
terms.
No,
and
no,
then
he was
rested and
dying
came back.
as a president. Like literally, what he was doing. Like because he
And-
was the biggest puppet of all.
But that's the whole thing is, so we haven't really elected a president. Now, the popular vote might have swayed the way of the one elected. But that, again, even has some controversy to it, especially with Obama's second term. And he lost so much popularity, but yet just got elected, and they ran no one against
What's
him.
the solution?
Well, truly, is
The electoral
sadly
vote has to change.
Well, we have to get rid of the electoral vote, and sadly enough, we have to get rid of the Federal Reserve.
Yes.
like they've been saying.
Absolutely. Sadly,
Yes.
that's
Have
the
to
biggest problem
Dump
we
the
have
Federal
in the
Reserve
world.
because they're a private entity that makes money on our money.
The last president that got rid of the Federal Reserve was Andrew Jackson. And that's why I think Quentin Tarantino should
nice Andrew
write
Jackson.
a movie about Andrew Jackson.
Oh.
You know, he's the only president that killed someone else in a duel,
Didn't he end up homeless
gotta
too?
bring duels
that
back.
was just,
he
yeah,
did.
that's Grant.
He challenged
and
him
he
to
Yeah.
hated Indians. He was a
Yeah,
flaming
yeah,
racist.
Yeah.
Which the
But-
majority
Not that
were.
That's a good thing, but
Come
you know,
on,
in the
just
1800s,
take it.
I mean,
But the
You
Federal
mean feather,
Reserve,
not dot, right?
yeah,
Feather, not
but the,
dot.
They're not done.
the Federal Reserve is completely unconstitutional, illegal, and everything else. And the kind of power they have with everything is ridiculous. And so the fact is, states should be running the states. Federal government's only real purpose should be to monitor things like, in this day and age, civil rights, things like that,
Right.
people's rights, and
honestly,
foreign
gun
affairs.
legislation. One of the
Yeah.
reasons why I'm a Democrat, not a Republican, and I was a political science major, so like fundamentally, the real difference between Democrats and Republicans, at least before Nixon was elected, is the difference in federal rights versus states' rights. I'm
Yeah.
more in favor of federal rights because like I said, we're talking about gun violence. I live in a state that has very strict gun legislation that's surrounded by states that aren't. There are certain things it makes no sense to live in a state when you're surrounded by other states that have laws that are completely contradictory to the ones that like in the state you live in.
But that's just how things
I think
are.
gun
It's relative to
legislation,
what goes on in your state.
Healthcare,
In your state.
all that stuff should be federalized.
It's
There's still
weird.
states with a lot of hunting.
You go to
And
Kansas,
they
you can
should
fuck
be
a
able to have
13-year-old.
guns to hunt.
That's
and
true.
they should have easy access
I
to those
understand.
guns to hunt. Now, they don't need AK-47s and they don't need certain guns. A lot of these guns can be taken off the market. Like you said, me having an AK-47 is unnecessary, even if the criminal does. It's still unnecessary. Me having a gun isn't unnecessary.
Yeah.
But the AK-47, yeah, and especially if I'm saying it's for hunting, I don't need any of those. But
We go hunting on a full stomach in America, for the love of God. Who's going hunting?
Well, I have a major problem. Well, there's
Well, we
still people.
also,
No, there's
you know,
still
we're-
people in the Ozarks
we're
and
not
stuff
Australia,
living like
yeah.
it's 1912.
We're not Australia.
Yeah.
We have a lot of invasive species
Yeah.
on this continent, and there are
Yeah.
definitely species of mammals
Right,
that
but we
need
have
to be,
enough food here.
you know,
Nobody's going
hunted.
hunting for food.
There really are people who are still
Yeah.
hunting in this country for food.
Yeah.
They
Literally
don't
going
have,
for
yeah,
hunting.
they don't have
Yeah.
access to supermarkets. They
Yeah,
don't-
Alaska.
People
Oh, yeah.
don't. Yeah, people
Parts of
really.
West Virginia
well,
and the
well,
Appalachians.
most
you know what?
totally.
Let me say, Alaska is the ultimate point.
Yeah.
That yes, they have to hunt for food.
Yeah.
But there's places in like Georgia and South Carolina and
gotta
these
research
mountains,
this.
they don't have
In the
access to
Appalachians,
food.
yeah,
Yeah,
they're
the
super-
Appalachians.
I gotta
They
get
don't
an
have money for
Alaskan
food.
a
And
guest
so
on soon.
do it.
No, I know a few
Go.
Alaskans. I
Yeah.
can get on.
Well, and so that's the whole thing. There's a lot of people in this country still hunting for food and all this. But if we go to states' rights on things like, certain gun laws,
Can't we
but
get some McDonald's or something over to them? We have so many in the city.
now we want to poison them with human food and
That's the
fecal
thing.
matter
There's
and
a
everything in a
problem
McDonald's
in,
burger.
I
in
mean,
the
come
world.
on. Can we put a Rouse up in that bitch?
we set up a lot of Mountain Dew up to the fucking Appalachians.
Yeah, we send them a lot of OxyContin and a lot of Mountain Dew.
Yeah, a lot of OxyContin and Mountain
And
Dew.
now they're fucking each other.
Yeah.
In families.
And
Ain't no shame
reproducing.
in that.
Yeah.
Nah.
So check this out, guys. We are way over time, so we're gonna
are
go ahead
so
and
over time.
end this. I want to know what everyone's doing, Mr. Talmo. What you got going on?
I got Liquid Zoo UBG right now this week. I have nothing booked coming
Yeah.
I
up.
like it.
So
though. I like it. Mr. Owens, anything good?
Yeah, I got the Sunday show live. $25
Open
cash
mic.
prize.
Yeah.
Open mic.
Open mic.
Echo Park. Sunday.
Mona?
November 8th. Yeah.
Nice.
Mona?
I have a few things going on. I will be hosting Comedy Juice at the Hollywood Improv on
Nice.
November 11th,
Nice.
Wednesday.
Oh, yeah.
I'm doing Crack 'em Up Thursdays next at the Comedy Store Belly Room next Thursday, November 5th.
Michelle, yeah.
And I have my own show now at the Comedy Store. And that's going up. It's called Minority Report, and that's going to
nice.
be on Friday,
Nice.
Awesome.
November 13th
I'm
at
a
10:30.
lesbian. I'm
Oh,
a
yeah.
minority.
You should totally come, lesbian girl.
I would love to.
What do you got
Let's see.
going
I have an
on, Ms.
audition
Powers?
Friday. No, just kidding. Here's some highlights. I'll be at the Comedy Store on November 20th doing the Shindig Show. November 24th doing the Real Women of Comedy in the Belly Room. I'll also be doing our friend Ryan Pfeiffer's show on the 7th
Oh,
at that
Lotus
bar,
Lounge.
Ryan
Lotus
Pfeiffer.
Lounge.
Yeah,
Lotus
Pfeiffer's
Fucking
great.
love that
Love that
show.
boy.
And on November 22nd, I'll be in the Yoo-Hoo Room at Flappers Comedy Club. And
Yoo-Hoo.
any other updates, you can go to my website, alexpowers.net, and I have my upcoming shows there along with video and photos and all that good stuff.
Nice.
If I could
Fun.
add, you can also check out my stuff on my website, monashake.com.
Nice. And
Nice.
I have the 13th show, November 13th over at Rivalry, 9 o'clock.
Oh, yeah, I'll be with you.
Yeah. And then I have 18th through 21st up in Vegas.
I'll be
doing
with
a
you
couple
too.
Slammies.
Nice.
And I know I got something else, but I can't think of it. Guys, I'm Burger Podcast. Remember, police kill. Not all.